We're going to have a look now at the business headlines this morning. William Hildebrand is back. Hello again, Will.
Hello,
tell us how things are shaping up on the markets.
Stocks in Asia are mostly up this Friday. Tokyo's Nikkei hit nearly a 5-month high in trading, largely buoyed by a better-than-expected jobs report out of the U.S. Gains were strong. Official figures showed the U.S. economy added 288,000 jobs in June, and this helped press the unemployment rate down to 6.1%, its lowest figure since the beginning of the financial crisis began in September 2008.
Moving on to Mexico, Will, where luxury carmaker BMW is making a big investment.
BMW said it will invest $1 billion to build a new factory in northern Mexico. The German car maker said that will create 1,500 jobs. Now, its announcement comes a week after Daimler and Renault-Nissan said they'd invest $1.6 billion in building compact cars in Mexico. Mexico has managed to lure car makers with its low wages, proximity to the U.S., and free trade agreements with 45 countries. Let's listen now to what the BMW official had to say there.
Capacity of 150,000 units at the new plant in Mexico will enable us to tap into the growth potential of the entire region. The latest technologies and decades of experience, the combined know-how of our global production network will come together at the San Luis Potosí plant.
We're going to have a look now at some companies' news.
SUBARU is recalling more than 660,000 cars and SUVs. The Japanese car maker said brake lines can rust and leak fluid, flaws that could mean the vehicles need more time to stop and thus increase the risk of a crash. For about half the vehicles, it's a second recall for the same problem. So far, though, there have been no crashes or injuries reported due to the problem.
European officials are asking Luxembourg to hand over details on Amazon's tax arrangements in the country, part of an effort to crack down on sweetheart tax deals with large companies. That's according to the Financial Times. The paper says the European Commission is carrying out fact-finding missions in a number of member states.
And German lawmakers have approved the country's first ever nationwide minimum wage. It will be introduced at the start of next year at €8.50. And despite Chancellor Angela Merkel's reservations, her Christian Democrats approved the new policy as part of a power-sharing deal with the Social Democratic Party. Some business leaders say the change, though, will make Germany less competitive and push companies to move abroad where labor is cheaper.
Now on to national working cultures. Each country has its own, of course, and part of France's bon vivant lifestyle, Will, is, of course, or does include at least, alcohol at work from time to time.
That's right. It's a widely accepted practice here in France. And to have these drinks at the workplace, they're not necessarily boozing up ridiculous amounts, but it could be a going away party, maybe some wine and cheese on a slow weekend shift. Not saying I'm guilty of that. Or just a few drinks at lunch. But that could be about to change. Rochelle Harrison-Pless has a story.
A drink at the office while cheering on the French football team. Another to say farewell to a colleague going into retirement. Both could soon face a ban in the French workplace. The country's labour code authorised the consumption of beer, wine and cider at the office. But from Friday, company chiefs can opt for a total alcohol ban. A measure that will no doubt prevent employees from making a faux pas in front of the boss. However, many workers admitted to indulging in the odd tipple.
Honestly, yes, at a workplace party, but always at the end of the day, therefore outside working hours.
At lunchtime, yes, but it's true it's always hard to get back to work afterwards. That's why I stopped drinking at midday.
Despite the fact that 10 to 20% of workplace accidents are linked to alcohol, most people look forward to raising a glass with colleagues.
A ban is not possible. In French culture, a meeting isn't a meeting without a little bit of alcohol.
Having a casual drink at work can strengthen ties among members of the team.
Enforcing a ban is just one way for companies to fight alcohol addiction. It also protects those who might be tempted to get behind the wheel after a boozy day at the office, because in the event of an accident, the company can be held responsible.
It could be the end of our parties here at France 24. Then we move on to Russia, where new data looks at the effectiveness of U.S. sanctions so far.
That's right, effectiveness, or maybe the word should be ineffectiveness. Data shows that U.S. exports to Russia in May hit a record high of $1.2 billion. So while the Russian ruble has been rocked and the economy pushed into recession, demand for U.S. goods has increased 21%. And of course, these sanctions relate to Russia's annexation of the Ukrainian peninsula Crimea in March. But that's one place of Russian real estate where a staple American good can no longer be found. That's the Big Mac. Russian fast food chain Rusburger said it was taking over all McDonald's locations in Crimea. News to chew on for burger lovers over there. I have eaten at both restaurants, and I don't think they're missing out.
Thank you very much, Will Hildebrand, with the latest from Crimea there, the latest business headlines. It is 22 minutes past 8. We're going to have a look now at what's making headlines on